Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. Belga the Cystwitch is an insane zealot of Nurgle, with sisters melded to her body, a cauldron of rancid gore, and a slug/maggot-like body. This former high priestess is a terrifying foe to behold. Equally, she's also a great model. In this guide, I'll showcase my take on the awesome villain. I'll showcase some sickly looking skin tones, as well as vibrant cloth acting as a unique contrasting colour. So let's grab your paints and brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're starting with Belga the Cystwitch. It is a very unique, very disturbingly brilliant character. I love it. Now, to know it is obviously fully assembled. It's an easy to build thing. You can absolutely get into all the areas with ease, and I'll guide you through it. The other point to note, it is primed in White Scar. So we're going to begin with an overall skin tone, and the colour is Aggaros Dunes. And I picked this rather perfectly because, to me, it resembles the colour of sick, which is exactly what you would imagine with this model. With all that maggot flesh, we're putting it all around. Now we have got all this cloth that's textured here, and I have made a mistake where I've caught it on and I've just washed most of it off, but as you can see it's stained, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. The cloth is a pinky purple kind of, screamer pink vibe colour, which when we apply it with contrast paints, it's not going to be an issue whatsoever. But I'll have a good look, focus on all of the areas that are exposed, because obviously there's a lot of tears within the fabric, but not completely tears. So for instance, a piece here, you can see there's an undercloth that's there, but actually there's a further cut that is exposing the flesh. So just take your time and just apply it as neatly as possible. Now I have added a drop of Lahmium Medium to this mix. It's not affecting the thinness in the sense. It's 4 parts of the Aggaros Dunes with 1 part of Lahmium Medium. It's just a small amount to help us with the flow of the paint, especially when you've got these large flat surface areas. The other point to note is I'm doing it as an overall skin tone with all the bits and details there, and I've applied it on her bucket of toxic goodness knows what. It is going to get enhanced to yellow, but we just need this as an under there. So get that applied, let it dry, and we'll move on to the next. Next up, we're doing 3 different colours here, and I'm going to explain the order to do them in. First of all, we're going to shade all of the skin of our maggot, as well as the actual main body parts as well. So the colour here is Mortarian Grime. Essentially, I'm picking this one because it just really adds that sick vibe, just tinting it further and just making it look awful in the best way possible, of course. After all, it's Nurgle. So apply that over all of the skin. We don't need to worry about the liquid in there when we're applying it. We don't particularly need to worry about the hair spines as well. Or of course, we could just go straight over the spines here. Now, our next colour is going to be Nazdreg Yellow. And I'm applying the Nazdreg Yellow all over that sort of, we'll call it soup if you like, that's being stirred in that pot. Now to note, it drips down the side here. And it also drips, which is a bit hard to see at an angle, but it is painted in there, just down underneath where my finger's roughly pointing. But doesn't matter if we slop on the edges, because that's going to be painted in metallic details. Now, while I've got this paint to hand, even if it's still slightly damp with the paint of the Mortarian Grime, we're just going to pick out the pus spots. So you've got little ones dotted around, as you can see. And obviously not forgetting the ones that are on the actual body. Just a couple on the arm there. Moving on from that, we're going to paint and pick out all of those individual spines. So the majority are literally down the spine, but you've got these ones going around on the top and side here. The colour is Garaghak. Nice and simple, just take your time, pick them all out. Let that dry and we'll move on to the next step. Next up for Belga, we're going to base coat all of that cloth. We're going to do all these nasty gribbly maggot claws, and we're going to do a little bit of tinting to the staff, and we'll come to that in a minute. Let's do the cloak first, because we've got a very unique colour, and I said Screamer Pink. Now, that's the classic way of painting. That would be the sort of colour you go down if you're doing the classic route. However, I want to recreate that in a contrast really quickly. One coat that does it all for me. Now, the mix here, and it has to be a mix, is going to be 2 parts Sigvuld Burgundy. Into that palette, we're going to mix 1 part of Luxion Purple and you're going to add 1 part of Lahmium Medium. So 2 parts Sigvuld Burgundy, 1 part Luxion Purple, 1 part Lahmium Medium. The Lahmium Medium here is to help you with that flow because there's a lot of coverage to do. And just take it section by section. Work your way at the top, do that area first. Essentially split the cloth in half. You got this side, you got that side. It's the easiest way of thinking about it. Take your time and just be careful as you approach the skin tone areas. We don't want to spoil that. Next up, we've got the maggot claws. Now, when you look at the box art, they've got a kind of orangey tint, but they've also got a pinky tint, depending on which way you look at it. So like a pinky recess areas, but also orange is a mixture. And I've recreated this exactly. We're going to create a 1-to-1 mix with Iyanden Yellow. Forget the Lahmium Medium, it is Iyanden Yellow. And Volupus Pink. So a 1-to-1 mix of those. Mix it together really well. And this is the exact colour you see. And it is very subtle. It is orange, but very subtly in certain areas like the recesses and stuff, you will see that Volupus Pink there. It's a really cool mix. So get that done. Now moving on to the staff. It is from here made of wood, but when you look closely at the box art, you've got these little spots, and you can see it now that I've picked them out. Essentially, we're just going to take Poxwalker, treat it as a base coat, and just apply it over those spots. When we do the colour of the wood in the next step, we're essentially just going to paint round the spots. Nice and simple. Next up, we are going to take Wyldwood, and essentially this is going to be for her staff. We're going to start at the top, obviously, working our way down, trying our best, obviously, to avoid other details. Obviously, wash the brush and quickly wipe away any mistakes, if that happens. And as you paint down, we're just avoiding all those Poxwalker spots that we've done. Nice and simple. Moving on from that, I am going back to Nazdreg Yellow, and that's me looking at the box art. Essentially, you've got slime that's coming around here. Now, it is matching the slime down here, so it just makes sense. Paint it in Nazdreg Yellow. Moving on from that, we're going to take Skeleton Horde. And this is for the 2 skulls. You've got this one here. And then in her pot of goodness knows what, you've got a skull in there. Now, just to point out, if you haven't noticed when painting yours, it does have slime attached to the upper half of the skull head, just there. So obviously we paint that first with the Nazdreg Yellow, leave the remainder of the skull clear, and we can paint that on. Next up, I'm taking Mantis Warrior's Green, and this is for the orbs that we see in top of her triangular staff. Now, while I've got the Mantis Warrior's Green to hand, I have just painted a small amount into the eyes of each of the heads. Essentially, this is just a sort of shade colour. It's not going to create the green glow that we see on the box art. It just means when we dot them towards the end, it will just stand out more vividly. Next up, we're taking Black Templar. And she's got this little necklace. It's a bit hard to see in the light here, but it just goes around holding up this medallion. Now we're painting it in Black Templar, that's the rope, and there's more at the back which you can get to at this angle here. Next up, we are painting her horns, and it's an off greyish blue colour, and I've gone with Drakenhof Nightshade here, treating it like a contrast paint base coat, just applying it straight on. Let all of that dry, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, I'm taking Athonian Camoshade, and I have thinned this down in a 1-to-1 mix with Lahmium Medium. Now, essentially what I'm doing here, I'm applying it not on the Mantis Warrior's Green, but everything else that we painted so far. It's an overall wash that's going to provide a grungier greenish definition to the whole model. Essentially, that's going to help give more definition, more features, and all of that kind of stuff. But there's another purpose here. We're going to dry brush the whole model in one colour, and there is a chance that we'll end up chipping our paints. Lahmium Medium, which is what we've included in this mix, has a chance of sealing things down. It's why painters use Lahmium Medium to seal transfers on, because the transfers won't fall off. Essentially, it's protecting the paint underneath, and because contrast paints are thin, we don't want to scratch them off by hitting them in the wrong angle with a dry brush. So this is going to not provide 100% guaranteed protection. It just helps more than it would do if it weren't there. So paint that on, let it dry. Don't worry if it goes on the metallic details, because that's not important at this stage. we just want it all over, so we're ready to do an overall dry brush and finish off all these details in one quick go. Next up, just to point out, I have shaded the base, which I've done in Stirland Mud with Agrax Earthshade, and that's only essential if you're copying what I've done. Now we're going to go to the overall highlight, and this is going to be dry brushed on. Now I've taken a small dry brush and I'm applying Screaming Skull. This is going to be done over all of the colours that we've done so far. And as you can see, it ties the colours very neatly together. It's quite subtle in the Aggaros Dunes maggot skin, but where it shines, you know, where it hits the most, you can absolutely see it. So that's what I've done. Perfect for speed painting. Ties all the colours together very nicely. The only area I've not done is the Mantis Warriors Green. Moving on from that, I have taken Moot Green and I've applied a small amount on the tip of a small airbrush. And as you can see, I've just dotted all the eyes of our characters. Nice and simple. Next up, we're going to base coat, shade and dry brush highlight all of our metallic details. The dry brushing is not going to be the most brightest, but we're going to add a lot of verdigris, and that's what we see when we look at the actual model box art. But we will catch them, we will make them shine, we'll talk through it now. So for our silver details, the colour I'm using here is going to be Iron Warriors. That's the metallic parts at the top of the staff, obviously being careful when we base coat going around those details we've already done. And then there's the cauldron, nice and simple. Moving on from that, we are going to base coat our bronze details, and there are lots. It's the majority of the model. It's all these discs that she has that are going around her. Nice and simple, Screaming Bell as the base coat. When all of that is dry, both our silver and our bronze, we're going to shade it all with Agrax Earthshade. And then what I've done with all the other models, which you'll see in my painting guides, is we want to keep that consistency. I've gone with Sycorax Bronze as a very light dry brush over those bronze details. And for our silver details, which is very little to do for dry brushing and absolutely ideal, is Stormhost Silver. Just catching that raised edge both inside and outside of the cauldron, both sides, as well as the outside frame of this. Next up, we're going to focus on the Mantis Warriors Green, and simply you don't have to do much at all. All I've taken is Ardcoat. This is a gloss varnish. Any gloss varnish will do, and just apply a small even there across all those surfaces just to make that green glow a little bit more. And finally, we're going to add some texture details just to enhance the model. We're going to start with verdigris, and the mix I like to create here is 3 parts Briar Queen Chill and 1 part of Nihilakh Oxide. Simply, it turns this into a contrast paint where we get control, but still keeping the consistency of this technical paint. So this is verdigris. We just want random amounts dotted around all of that bronze detailing, and it does just enhance it ever so slightly in the greatest way possible. Especially the front area, there's lots to do there, like the box art showcases. Moving on from that, we can also apply it to the base, just random amounts is what I've done across the models. And it's a giant maggot, it's Nurgle. It would be rude not to have a bit of Nurgle's rot, so I've just applied that in random blobs of different sizes all the way around the base, just to show how disgusting this thing is. With that, the model is complete. There is a gap here if you want to add some grass tufts. Other than that, there's nothing really else you can do with this model. And there we have it. Belga the Cystwitch is complete. It is definitely a unique model. I like it. I really like it a lot. It's a fun one to paint. There's so much potential. Once again, you know, what colour do you do with the maggot skin? I've chosen sick colour. You can go green colour. You can go purple colour, pink colour. There's just so much potential with this model to create some absolutely unique colour schemes. I like what I've done with this one. It just looks absolutely horrible, which is what I want with my Nurgle models. It's a very great design. Now, if this video has inspired your choice or given you ideas, then please do give it that like. Share it too, because it helps other people find the channel. It's not a fame-hungry kind of channel. It's about supporting the Warhammer community. And who knows, that person might be looking for the guide that I've already got on my channel. And If you haven't subscribed, then please do so, because it's the support that keeps the channel going and growing. Because supporting me means I get to continue supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until the next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.